Hey guys, what's up? This week we're talking about passing, and when it comes to being trans, what passing is being seen as the gender that you really are. And, being born in the body that's opposite to that, we have the hormones producing characteristics that, aren't what we're looking to look like. So I have some tips for FTMs, because that's what I am and that's what I know firsthand. So I'm just going to get right into that. Some things that can hinder us from passing are possibly our chest, our body shape, our voice, our lack of facial hair. Those are really the biggest, our lack of body hair. So I'm going to go over what to do for each of those. When it comes to your chest, some guys are lucky because they're born with an A cup or smaller and they don't have to even bind if they don't want to. They can just wear like a baggy shirt or don't even have to do that. I mean, they still have to suffer with having a female chest, but it's just easier when it comes to binding. For some of us, it's not so easy. There's different ways to bind. The only way I ever suggest binding is to get a binder from somewhere that makes binders just for this situation and um, attacking it that way, There's guys out there who use ace bandages or duct tape, and that's just not healthy. You can damage your body parts and break ribs and even do permanent damage, and you don't want to do that. Nobody should do that. So to get a binder, I personally go to underworks.com. I use the tri-top or the double front compression binder, and it shows you how to measure yourself, and then you pick your size according, and then check out and put your information in, and they send it to you within like a week or two. I've gotten my binder within 3 days every single time, but it's probably different depending on where you live. There are other websites such as T Kingdom, and if you just Google FTM binder, it'll bring you right to websites. The best I've heard, though, is from T Kingdom and Underworks, but if you find something that works for you otherwise, go for it, as long as you're doing it the correct way. When it comes to your voice, everybody has different voices depending on their genetics. I know some guys whose voices pass completely pre-T. I passed completely pre-T. Not in the beginning, but right before I started T, I would say I passed 90% of the time. And what I did was I found this video called Boom Your Voice, and it shows you how to learn and do exercises to talk the deepest that you can possibly talk, and that really worked. If you look at my videos from when I first came out as trans on the internet all the way up to right before I started T, there was a pretty decent difference in my voice. So that's the best way I could suggest working on your voice. You can also Google vocal exercises to deepen your voice, and there are other things out there that I've tried, and I do say work. Hormones is usually the only way you can get your voice, really deep, to wherever genetically it would get, having, male hormones. Another thing to work on, though, is listen to men talk and females talk. A lot of times guys talk a lot slower and females talk like higher pitched and faster. If you listen to yourself talk and talk slower, you can control your voice and control the deepness of it a lot easier. So that's another thing that I recommend. When it comes to body shape, everybody's also different. It's all genetics. I had a pretty male body shape always. I'm 5'10", and I've always had like a more manly build, so I'm lucky. But for guys that don't really have that, there are ways to, sort of hide it. What I suggest is to just try on all different types of clothes and see what works best for you. A lot of times if you wear something a little bit baggier, then that really works. If you don't like, if you have a really female lower half, you don't want to wear like skinny jeans that really show off everything. So you can just kind of work on figuring out what helps you pass the most depending on the clothes you wear. A lot of times I hear guys say that, once they start T, they are more feminine, or they find different aspects of themselves coming out, because when they were trying to pass, they would do everything just to pass. And, a lot of times when you feel more comfortable and you're passing just no matter what, different aspects of you come out. And, I would never suggest changing yourself just to pass, but for some guys, that's the only way for them. So that's what I have to say about that. Lack of facial hair, that's not really a problem for a 15-year-old who comes out as trans, because a lot of 15-year-olds don't really have facial hair yet. If you're 30 years old and you don't have facial hair, there's not really much you can do. You're just gonna look younger than you are. I forgot who said this, and I should try and find that out, but another trans guy said that it's really cool because a lot of trans guys, pre-T just starting T, don't pass for their age. But, that's not a bad thing because most trans guys don't get to be socialized as male most of their life before they come out, I mean, some people come out at like 3 years old and get to, but for the rest of us who don't, it's cool because as we look younger and as we just start our transition and look older, we get to get socialized with the people our age because that's how people socially see us, so I thought that was pretty cool and a good way to look at it. Yeah, so that's about it for physical things. Something that a lot of people don't really realize is their mannerisms. If you just kind of watch guys out in public and watch girls, the way they talk, the way they walk, is different, So I suggest just kind of being like a psychologist or I guess it would be a sociologist, and just kind of like watching people and figuring out the differences between the way females and males act and walk and talk, and just try and do more what the males do, and it helps you pass, because that really helped me at first. I used to talk with my hands and talk fast like this because I was socialized as a girl and that's just what I knew. But when I took a step back and just really watched, it really helped me to be able to pass more, and I went from not passing at all to passing 90% without even hormones. So if you try all these things, it really should help. And if you have any questions, if there's anything I left out, I'm here to always inbox, and I can help you out to the best of my ability. All right, peace.